overstatement that I'm the brains behind this. James asked me to come and talk to you a little bit about kind of where B-cycle started and how it got going. And I got to go all the way back to me being 13 years old. And I'm not very good at anything, and I'm not very good at school, and I'm not athletic. I suck at soccer. I'm, second chair at saxophone, and just moved to third chair, and I discovered BMX racing, and I convinced my dad to take me to. I'm very emotional. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get like this all through this, so bear with me. I will. I'll fucking cry all the time. It's not because it's all sorts of shit going on. But anyway, so I convinced my dad to take me to a BMX track, and I've got this BMX bike that I saved up for, and I race it, and I come in, I think, second to last place. And I load the bike in the truck, and we're in the van, and my dad's like, so how was that? Like, what do you think of that? And I'm like, I want to be the best there is. I love this, and I don't know where I got that idea. But fast forward, a year later, I was Florida state champion, and then I was national #2, and I was actually good at riding bikes. And it was the first thing I was ever good at. And then in my professional life, I wound up getting into advertising, and things were not going very well. Kind of typical, I realized that I wasn't any good at a new thing, and you know how it is. You get started, it's hard, so I'm doing this thing, and we somehow get this idea that we want to have clients that aren't. We were in Miami. We want to have clients all over the country. We wanted to get out of Miami, and the first thing we pitched was Shimano, which is the component maker. And somehow we convinced this Irvine, California company to give us their account. I was getting emotional again for a second. Sorry. And it really changed my life. So the agency built itself on bike companies, Schwinn, Shimano, and all these other bike companies that actually we went to school on, and we developed our philosophy for how we do advertising. And later on it was Microsoft and Burger King and things like that. But we really built the agency on bike companies. So the bike, to me, not to me, to everyone, it's an amazing machine. It is the theme. It is really the theme of my life. I have other themes too, but the bike is one important theme. About in '07, I'm sitting in my office, and my friend comes in. He says, "I just was in Paris, and I had the most amazing time, and I saw the city in a way I'd never seen the city." And I said, "Why? What was up?" And he said, "They got these bikes, and you can rent these bikes." And we spent the entire week just riding around Paris, and we stopped at places we wouldn't stop, and we saw the city in a whole new way. And we'd been to Paris many times, right? And we started riffing, and we were like, we need that in Boulder. And it was, I wasn't here, but we remembered, we recalled the orange bikes. A lot of you might remember the orange bikes, which were free bikes that you would just, apparently you people would just lay them around places, right? Expecting, like in Miami, we'd never tried that, But even in Boulder, you can't just lay bikes around, apparently. And little by little, they disappeared. So we started thinking, well, how do we build a system for Boulder? And started riffing on what that might look like and what that might feel like. And Dave Kingsbury, at some point, rolls into the office, and we start talking about it. And I think I just said, hey Dave, go downtown and just see what's up and see if they'd be interested in this. If we wanted to, you know, help put together one of them Parisian systems. And so Dave went downtown, and they were like, you know, there were other people here, and those people were talking about kind of the same sort of thing. You should meet those people. So that's where the Humana, Trek, and CPB groups got together, and not long after that, we created a joint venture to build B-cycle, which was originally called Pop Bike, right?
Pop Cycle.
Pop Cycle. Pop Cycle.
But we couldn't buy the URL.
Which was cute. We liked it. But we couldn't buy the URL. And then I was like, well, my name is Bogusky. What about B-cycle? After me. And he was like, I love it. So we started, it's not that funny. So we started putting that together, and there was a design that existed at the time, and we had some talented industrial designers as well as branding people, and we brought the industrial design in of the stations, and Trek obviously did the design of the bike. And I have 2 patents on bike locking technology. That's a little bit of trivia.
Nice.
And which I sold them both for $1, which was a huge mistake. I just have to check my notes here. Where am I in this talk? So now B-cycle's in 36 cities, and which is exciting. Woo! At the time that the first city we launched in was Denver, which was I think it was one of the best days professionally that I've had. You know, in advertising, you don't get to do a lot of things that are physical. Like bikes are a thing, you know, and like stations are a thing, and we got to do a thing, and we were sitting there on the steps of the Capitol building, and the governor was there, and it was like, this is about the coolest thing we've ever done. But we were a little bummed because it was Denver, and we had built it for Boulder. And it took a little while to get into Boulder. It's actually named B-cycle because it's Boulder cycle, as you know. Yeah. And we finally got into Boulder. I was involved with the national thing, so I couldn't get involved with the Boulder thing. And my wife, thank you, Anna, is on the board of B-cycle. And was able to keep the Bogusky momentum and Boulder B-cycle. I guess the question is like, where to from now? So I'll tell you, 30 cities in 07, just for B-cycle. That's not bike sharing, right? That's B-cycle. You would not have been able to convince me that that could happen. I think 2 years ago, you would have a really hard time convincing me that that would happen. So there's incredible momentum in bike sharing, and I think bikes in general. Like this sweater is not my sweater; it's my son's sweater, and this is his pin. It just happens to match my glasses, which, you know, makes it ridiculous. But my son, just talking about the future, my son is 17 years old. He refuses to learn how to drive a car. I'm a little worried, yet very much proud. Yeah. And the statistics show that this generation is really got different attitudes. Driving with people under 26 is down 30%. There's new, you know, every day there's new options. I think that my theory has always been that when humanity needs to make a change, we throw out people, new kinds of people with new ideas. And those people prototype those ideas, and other people spread those ideas. And I think, you know, if you look at attitudes of young people, they just are okay with creating a world that doesn't really rely on fossil fuels the way our world did. And it's a beautiful thing. So I don't even know where it's coming from. It's like just the universe just says we need new kinds of people. Because my dad's still like, check out this car, check out this car. My son, if you show him like, if you said, which one's the Ferrari and which one's the Toyota, I swear to you, he has no fucking clue. He just doesn't care. And, but if you show him that, if you show him a few bikes, he can tell you exactly what bikes are what. So, there's big change coming. I think we're going to see more momentum in this space. I think it's just the beginning. It's, as you know, as the systems come in, the infrastructure changes, and as the infrastructure changes, there's more cycling that's made possible, and there's more alternatives that are made possible. So change it's happening so much faster than anyone had ever predicted, and in so many ways. And so I'm one of those people that is really optimistic and really feels good about what's coming next. So thank you for listening, and thanks for coming out and supporting B-cycle.